Good afternoon, welcome to episode 6 of the Blue Grant Podcast. My guest tonight, Shauna Grant. Glad to have you here. Glad you made time for me. Try to laugh even as I say that because I know we're all busy this time of day. So with that being said, introduce yourself.
So thank you, first of all, for having me. I'm so excited for where God is leading you in with your podcast. So congratulations to
Thank
you.
you.
And I'm Shauna Grant. I'm the owner of Lady Strut and Lady Strut Gowns. And we transform women from day to evening. And our motto is, anyone can sew you a dress, but Lady Strut will accentuate your style. We want women to embrace their femininity. We want you to feel fabulous on all of those special occasions. And we do it on an exclusive basis. So it's by schedule. You schedule a consultation with us. And we have a glam team. We do the full service for you. We will find you the perfect gown. We'll also have our glam team work with you. We cater to bridal parties, prom, cotillion, pageantry, and much more. So we want you to come and see about us. And we're located in beautiful downtown Jacksonville, and we're looking forward to meeting you.
Definitely. So every entrepreneur that I meet, I always have this question, especially for people who are still employed. So talk to me about that. You're working, I'm pretty sure a couple of years, and then one day the light comes on. I got a passion for something. Talk to me about that.
So my background is in the healthcare industry. So I worked in the mental health field for many years. I have over 20 years experience in the healthcare industry. And the light went on in 2015, excuse me. I just decided that I wanted to go after my passion. I actually wanted to do something that was more fulfilling to me. So I decided to invest in myself, took some money out of my savings, and started Lady Strut Accessories. I started with accessories first. And it just transformed into something much more beautiful. I do the full service, and I tell you, I still love working with people in the senior community, in the healthcare industry. However, in this chapter of my life, I just wanted to do something that really brought me joy. And I always love to transform women, make them look beautiful. So this is something that I had been, dreaming about doing for a long time. I just, really stepped into my passion, in 2015, and going forward, this is what I want to do, and I want to leave a legacy for my daughter as well. I want to teach her how to be her own boss, to not get stuck in just working a day-to-day job. And that is what I also, host workshops to, share with other women. Go after your passion, do those things that are fulfilling to you. So that is exactly what I want to do.
You said transforming women. My background, growing up, watching my mother and aunts and women just in general, it's something about taking care of yourself as far as, not necessarily how you look to everybody else, but how you look to yourself. Deion Sanders always said you look good, you feel good, you play good. So transforming women, is this something, could you say this is something personal? How does that relate personal to you before it became for everybody else?
It absolutely is. Actually, I was a young mom. And so I went right into, working. I worked 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet. So I've always taken care of other people. And I just decided, later in life that I wanted to focus on Shauna and just do something that I love. And I wasn't able to actually attend my own prom. And so I love to transform young women to make them look beautiful for their proms. So this is just something that, came from me sitting back watching everyone else celebrate, those special events in their life, and I wasn't able to do those things because, like I said, I was a young mother, but I celebrate that now because I'm able to, you know, empower women and share with them that you still can, you know, celebrate those special times in life and still do all the other things that you're doing. So with me working, you know, working for someone else, I'm still able to, you know, celebrate and do the things that I want to do as far as my business and my journeys. And I share that with other women as well. I want them to know that you can have it all. You have to sacrifice and you have to be focused when you decide to step out and do those things.
You said young mother, and I think it's important for other women to hear this.
Yeah.
You mind sharing with me, when you say young mother,
Yeah.
what age are we talking?
I was 15.
15.
I was a mom at 15 years old. And, you know, back in the 90s.
What came through your mind? I don't know. I'll let you share that part.
Oh,
When you found out.
I'm okay with it.
What came through your mind when you found out? Okay, I'm about to be a mother. Like, what was your first thought?
I was naive, young, and it was not something that I wanted for my future, but, you know, it happened. And the reality of it is that a lot of young women are experiencing that. And, you know, we have to embrace, you know, those challenges, those things that, you know, we go through in life and not be ashamed of those things that we experience. It is a part of life. It took me a while to accept, you know, because I wore it as like a scarlet letter on my chest. You know, when I was a young woman, you know, I felt like, you know, my life basically would not, you know, amount to anything because, you know, the way people, you know, perceive you as a young mother. However, I was able to finish school. I was able to go to college and, you know, to get my bachelor's degree, to get my master's degree. So, you know, I look women in the face and I tell them every day, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yes.
So don't ever let anyone, you know, put a stigma on you or feel like, you know, that is something that will hold you back. What you do, what you decide that you want to do in your life is basically up to you. You make that determination. No one else can make that for you. So you have to, you know, focus and set a goal. And that's
Would you say, was it hard along the way? Did you have a support team? Talk about that.
So it was hard. It was not easy. And I did have a support team. My mother was always, you know, there, but she didn't pacify me. She, you know, I made my bed hard, so she made me lay in it. And so, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, I had to do all the things that any adult woman who has a child, I had to get out there and make a way for myself and make a way for my child. And I did. And I respect my mother for that because she did not make excuses for me. She said, you're gonna do it, you can do it. And for those days when I thought I would give up, my mother would remind me, I did what I needed to do, and you're gonna do it as well. And so my mother was my biggest encouragement, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. So all those days when I got accepted into the bachelor's program, all those days studying, many days, I just would cry and think like, I can't do this. And then I would see my mother's face and I would hear my mother's voice, and it just gave me the strength to just say, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And she was there both of my graduations, when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, when I graduated with my master's degree. And I would say to any woman, you can do anything you put your mind to. You make that determination.
Gotcha. Now, talk about mom.
I just want to say,
Good.
I love to see your post about your mom. I see how you value and uplift her. I'm so sorry about your mom, but I mean, she would be very proud of you.
Yes, that was my sweetheart. I learned a lot from her, even with what you're doing. My mother taught me at a very young age, and it's an old saying, but she lived it. You do not have to look like what you're going through. Listen, we were, for those who don't know, I was one of the poorest kids on the block during the 10 years, only 10 years that I lived with my mother. And when we left the house, you couldn't tell. Hey, her makeup was done, her hair was done. We was washing clothes in the tub, drying them out in the oven, but you wouldn't have never have known when we walked outside. So, what do you feel like? Where do you feel like you get your style or your vision from?
Well, my mother, first of all, she is a designer. She's a master seamstress.
Spiritual DNA here, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm just telling you, I grew up, my mother made all of our special occasions. She made our clothes. So, Easter was coming, any type of school dance. I was in chorus, I'm a songbird too. But my mother made all of our clothes. And so, for many who don't know, I am a twin. So my mother made all of our clothes when we were younger. And so I would sit up at night and watch my mother sew, and I was fascinated. But, I didn't right away, take her profession because honestly, I went through a phase where I was rebellious. But I seen being a seamstress or a tailoress, my mother does it all, as more of like a homemade job. And I wanted to be in the corporate world. So, but now I tell you, let me tell you, but just going through all the things that I went through being in corporate, I value those lessons that I learned and inherited from my mother.
She gave you something nobody can take away from you. And you got the in-house, you had to go pay for them lessons.
That's right. So I value that now, and I appreciate her. But I also got my vision from my aunt. Her nickname was Lady Strut.
Wow.
So that's where I got that from. I admire.
Did you get his name, Trima? Your aunt, are you dubbing her name?
Yeah, she told me her name. But when she would come to town, she's from Richmond, Virginia, and she would come to town and I'm originally from Norfolk, Virginia. If I didn't say that, that's my home. I'm a Virginia girl at heart, but I'm now in Florida because I'm not dealing with that weather anymore. But my aunt would come to town and she would fascinate me. She was a model. She was just fabulous. And when I was a young girl, I wanted to be like her. So
were you home trying on mama's clothes?
Let me tell you.
You done stole some belts?
Hold on, let me tell you. If you ask my family, I change clothes 5 times a day.
That's about the average woman. Go ahead.
Okay, so can you imagine this young girl living in projects, going in the house changing 5 times a day, coming back outside in the courtyard with a new dress on? That was me.
It's something about, how can I word this? Why do you feel, and I don't want to say lower class, but it is what it is. Why do you feel lower class are so in tune with style versus rich culture or upper class? Why do you think that?
It's funny and ironic that you say that because most, wealthy people, they aren't into labels like, they dress nice, but you can almost spot someone who is wealthy. Because they aren't so, caught up in, the Gucci, Prada, they aren't as caught up in it, And so when you see, a lot of the younger people today, they look to Instagram. Social media is like their Bible. And so
another conversation.
They're trying to follow what they see. And if you don't have labels, if you don't have Gucci and Prada and Chanel, then you haven't met a certain status. And so with Lady Strut, and I'm going to bring this back to Lady Strut and just say that, we're not about just labels here. We make you look and feel fabulous in whatever the label is, and also custom designs now as well. But what makes you feel good. Women know what makes them look good. Women know what looks good on their bodies. A lot of times women make the mistake of trying to, look like what they see on social media, look like what they see on Instagram, and they don't know that it it's a lot of propping and staging that comes along with that. And so when they get those garments and they try them on and they don't look the same in person, I see a lot of older women that make the mistake of trying to imitate what they see in the younger culture now.
Be authentic.
And I just say to women, and this is what I tell them when they come to see me, when we have our consultation, go with your style. You know what looks good on your body. If a wrap dress looks good on your body and fits your body well, go with that. We'll find different patterns and things. The pattern makes a great difference, you know. So I tell women, go with what looks good on you. I'm not here to try to change your style. What I want to do is accentuate your style, to help you to, bring some more color and some, different things to just spruce it up a little bit. But
let me ask you this: because when you talk about style and unique looks, automatically people think about the dollars. How much is it going to cost? Do you feel, as a woman in your field, is money a problem when it comes to look? And before you say that, women, you can give a woman $100. Wait a minute, maybe that has changed. I say $150. You give a woman $150. The average woman can walk out of a store 4 or 5 outfits tops.
Okay.
You give a man $150, that may get us a t-shirt, a pair of pants, and maybe some shoes that's been in the store for about 5 months, and then we finally get them on sale. You see what I'm saying? So how does price coincide with style? Can it be done on a cheap budget?
Well, yes, it can, but let me just tell you, times have changed. Because when you're talking about style nowadays, Instagram is like dominating. That these kids live for what they see on TikTok and Instagram, and a lot of those styles that they see on those platforms, they can't afford it.
No.
But it takes a savvy woman to know that she can go into a consignment store and put together an outfit and look just as fabulous as the next one.
Gotcha.
So, it's just the person that's being realistic when they walk in the store. You know what your budget is and you know what you can afford. Now, if you go in the store and you want to buy a Gucci belt, it costs $150. And that's all you have in your budget, you can't afford to buy it. But, like I said, it's the culture now, social media is telling them that they need Prada bags, that they need Hermes, they need this expensive stuff.
Half the people can't even pronounce.
They cannot pronounce it, they can't afford it. But what we do is we want them to look fabulous and I show them personally the fabulous things that they can wear, and it doesn't have to have a specific label in it. Of course, the gowns that I have will have Lady Strut in it. However, I partner with other designers as well.
That's good to know.
So I partner with various gown designers, and so I want you to pick what makes your body look good. So I would tell any woman that comes to me, look, I'm not here to just sell you Lady Strut gowns. What I want to sell you is something that looks good on you.
I guess you're saying, and also in the long run, you're not here to make a copy. You're here to make an original.
That's right.
Out of whoever shows up.
That's right.
I can just remember I was walking through. My wife was getting nails done, so I went to Dillard's to kill some time. Okay. And I'm walking through Dillard's, and I'm just like, I'm laughing because I'm like, polo, $100. We talking the shirt, $100, pants, $100, shorts, $100, and I'm like, are y'all just throwing prices out? Or I mean, the pants are lower than the shirt, so why is the pants and the shirt $100? And I'm laughing because I'm like, man, when I was about 15, 16, when I started working, polo shirt, if it was $70, $80, I was buying. Yeah. It took me about 2 weeks to buy a full outfit because I would just, shoes, clothes, I didn't care what it cost, I was just getting it. But now, if I'm gonna spend $80, I can't just get one shirt. I gotta get me 4 or 5. 4 were on sale
Yeah.
at tops.
Yeah.
So, times have definitely changed
Yeah.
to a degree.
Yeah.
So, backtracking a little bit, you're working one day, you got this passion, how they say burning inside of you. So, how did you prepare to become Lady Strut?
So what I did was I actually, you know, you have a lot of these networking companies that have network marketing companies. So I actually started selling Tracy Lynn jewelry, and I still love Tracy Lynn jewelry. And I traveled to different cities, going to conferences, met so many other women who were entrepreneurs, and it just really empowered me to just actually step out and do more for myself. So, you know, stepping into, you know, being a consultant with Tracy Lynn actually kind of pushed me a little further to my goal. And I decided that I was going to do it. I took the leap. I had friends, you know, saying to me, "Aren't you scared?" And
It's the best time to go into it.
I know.
I say this all the time. I have to coach y'all, but I'm tired of hearing myself say this.
Yeah.
Ripple effect.
Yeah.
You step in the water, the effect is gonna beat you to the other side before you even get there. It's gonna beat you to the other side, but you gotta do the most important thing. Not knowing, not having all the resources, not having all the people, you just gotta take that first step.
And be
That's key.
realistic. Be realistic as well. You know, I share with other women when I do workshops, you know, I tell them, be realistic. Write your business plan. Be, you know, smart about it first. Do your research, you know, pick a lane. And my sister taught me as well. My sister owned a boutique here in Arlington, men's store and a women's clothing store in Arlington for years, and I would help her with that as well. But I tell women, pick a lane, do your research, because there is a boutique on every corner now.
Yeah, definitely.
But you have to have your niche.
Yeah.
You know exactly what your product is and who your audience is. And that's what I share with women when they come to my workshops. Know who your audience is. If you know everyone's selling, you know, the party type clothes, you know you're gonna have a lot of competition. So when it comes to evening gowns, even custom evening gowns, you know, it's not a lot of companies here in Jacksonville that do that because they cost more to actually purchase wholesale. It's an expensive process. So I chose my lane, and this is something that I've always wanted to do, and I don't veer from it. So, you know, I may sell a day party, you know, clothes, you know, for the spring, you know, when people are having like the derby events and stuff like that. But my main focus is evening.
Gotcha.
So I work with women regardless if it's the bridal party, if it's prom, and we do head to toe full service. So
we talked about my next question to you, but I want you to go into detail more if you can. You had a career, well, you have a career, and like I said, this passion was boiling inside of you. So you found a purpose, you found a why. So why was this important to you at this time in your life? Because you haven't been doing this 20 years. So why now? Why is this important now to you? What have you experienced, or what are you seeing?
Well, like I said before, you know, actually when I turned 40 years old, the light went on in my head. I said, you know, I actually want to spend the rest of my life writing my own narrative, doing things that I love. And that's the main thing. I wanted to do what Sean wanted to do. You know, when people turn 50, I guess they have an epiphany, but my epiphany was at 40. I said, this is what I want to do in my life. And it's not easy. It's been some months where it's been really slow. And I say, you know what, I'm ready to give up, but I didn't. And so it's, you know, sustaining in business is the hardest. You see people open businesses every day, and months later they're closing the businesses because they didn't, you know, actually do their homework or their research the way they should. So.
How long have you been doing this now?
Over 5 years, almost 6 years, and I'm just excited about the future. And
when you say slow, as much as I hate to bring this up, 2020, Mr. COVID-19. Were you affected by that?
I was, but the key to that is that you need to learn how to pivot in any storm. So 2020, it happened, but it didn't break me. And I tell people all the time, whether it's a man in business or a woman in business, you need to have a strategy to learn how to pivot. And I listen to a lot of T.D. Jakes, his talks about business and how to say, maintaining business. You have to have a pivot. Sometimes you're gonna do things that, you really don't want to do in business, but you have to find a strategy to sustain in business, and that's the bottom line.
How did you, when you say pivot and strategy, what was...
Making masks. In 2020, I was so sick and tired of making face masks.
Yeah, that's right. You did make some. Go ahead.
But I was rewarded by it because I met so many people. I had people calling me, still to this day, I have people calling me and I tell them I'm not available right now to make masks because I'm focusing on, my designs. But I was delivering masks to the MD Cancer Center, to Ascensions, to that, everywhere. People were calling me everywhere because we went through a little phase where it was hard to actually get, the masks that they needed. So I had people calling me from everywhere to make masks. I had companies asking me, and I went and bought the print machine, the Cricut machine. Let me tell you, you have to learn how to survive in business. So I purchased the Cricut machine, a presser, and I started making custom logo masks. So I'm just saying, sometimes you have to learn how to pivot to just stay, focused. I was frustrated at one point. I can't tell you how many days I broke down and cried. Meditation was my go-to. So you see a lot of posts of me on the beach. That's where I live, on the beach.
Listen.
Yes.
I'm trying to laugh.
Yes.
90% of them posts.
Yes.
This woman probably has been to every beach in Jacksonville, me out in front of Nina.
Yes.
I'm like, who has the time? But go ahead.
Yes, I make the time.
You can fish out there or
I
something?
make the time. I don't know how to fish, but I feel like I'm a fish out of water because it really, everybody deals with stress and depression in different ways. And everybody in 2020 dealt with some type of stress and some type of depression. They said it did not. But anyway, my go-to was meditation. It helped me stay focused, and with the pivot, yes, I wanted to be doing other things, but I did it was necessary for me to stay in business. I've seen a lot of people just say, I can't do it, I can't cover, I can't do this, but I stayed in business. And that was the most important thing, and that's what I want to help younger women and other women in business to find their pivot, to find out how they can maintain and sustain their business.
You always have, from what I see outside looking in, however I see the people to be true, you always have your daughter with you.
Yeah.
How much, no doubt she's learning, but how much of, let's say, your challenges / struggles / short-term failures has she seen? And what did she learn from that?
All of them. And I'm very real with her. My mother tried to shelter me a little too much when I was young. Kids see everything.
Yeah.
And back in those days, our parents, they tried to, shelter us from seeing those things, but we seen them anyway.
Yeah.
And so I have conversations with her. I ask her, how does she feel? And, she was having a rough time too. Homeschooling, most of 2020, my daughter was home.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. And so she's, I have 3, but she is the youngest. My oldest is 30. My youngest is, my middle son is 25. He's a sergeant in the Air Force, and then my youngest is 14.
Wow.
So she's going to be 15 this year. So it's very important for me to stay connected with her because, like I said, I was 15 when I was a mother.
What was your biggest failure, or if you want to word it, challenge during this process? And I want you to include your daughter. What has she learned from that? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So she's seen a lot of days me get frustrated. I mean, literally, I would cry because it was really hard. You know, I still was paying for a space out near the St. John's Town Center that I had not used for the whole 2020 because, you know, most offices were closed. And then when they reopened, it was like, you know, a lot of, you know, restrictions. So it was frustrating, and I, you know, expressed to her, you know, let's talk about it, you know, share your feelings. She was frustrated with me because she felt like I was always working. And that's why I try to keep her with me. So even now, she'll say, Mom, I want to go. Come on, let's go. Today, she said she had to get her hair done, so she was not coming. But I want her to see the process. I want her to know that it's not just what you see on social media, where you see these businesses where they're just fabulous and they're just blowing up, and it's not just that. The background is a lot of grit and grind. So I want her to know that, and I want to instill those values in her for her to not get dependent or stuck just working a job that she's not happy with. I want her to follow her dreams. I want her to have an education, but I want her to follow her heart. I want her to do something that makes her happy. And
That's so key. That's a big reminder. My mother used to say that all the time. I remember her being asked, you know, what do you want your son to do in life? Of course, she had her ideas, but she always ended it with, I want him to do whatever makes him happy. And man, that is key. You know, I think a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on children to surpass in our field or our views, but ultimately, those kids got to be happy on their own. Starting out, what was one of your, what's something you wish you knew at the beginning that you didn't know right away? Starting out with this.
Well, being a minority and a woman-owned business, it's really hard to find investors. It really is. And you know, it's not as easy as just starting an LLC and just you're in business. Because everybody want to be a boss, but everybody don't know what it takes to be a boss. So it takes some months not having two nickels to rub together. You know, and you still have to figure out a plan and have a strategy for next month. So
when you started out, I'm just correct me if I'm wrong. What resources did you have starting out?
My own money. My own money, and that's true for a lot of minority businesses. We work other day jobs to finance our dreams, and that's just the bottom line. That's what it is. We work extra jobs, and that's the only reason why I do what I do, to finance my dream. If no one else is going to put money behind me, I'm going to put money behind myself.
My brother Will, and if he's watching this, he's probably going to laugh. He said something, I swear, hit me in the chest like a King Kong punch. And he said that your job is your side hustle.
That's right.
And I never looked at it that way. He said your job is your side hustle. Your passion, that's your main thing. So, you know, a lot of people, like you said, that don't have the capital, investors or whatever, a lot of times you're using your job as a conduit or to finance your passion.
And let me tell you something. Tomorrow, if they say they don't need you anymore, if they lay you off,
Gone.
And I had to learn that, you know, don't get dependent on, you know, people hire you to do a job. You know, I remember back in the days when I worked in the healthcare industry, I would never take any of my PTO days. I was like the average mother, single mom who was scared to take a day off because we thought we would lose our spot. And then an older woman said to me, honey, if you die tomorrow, this place is going to keep right on functioning without you. Take your PTO days, take your time off. And you know, along the way, I started, you know, hearing the wisdom of older women telling me, you know, go for your dreams, do this and do that. And, you know, and so it just took a lot of me learning and growing, and then I just decided I'm going to invest in me. So I can tell you right now, I don't put this on my resume, and I don't put this on my social media page. I do work in the healthcare industry still, but it's not on my page. You know why? Because it's my side hustle. My dream is on my page.
Wow. That's
Lady Strut is on my page.
That's nice. You prepare for where you're going.
But I show up every day on time.
Yeah.
I do my job. They respect me. I respect them.
Wow. Dang, that's deep. That's deep. Along the way, your journey, what type of other than your aunt and your mom, what resources did you have to kind of guide you in that process?
I didn't have any other resources. Like I said, honestly, I made a lot of mistakes along the way, along the way, and you learn from your mistakes. So my mother always would say, when you know better, you do better. I made stupid mistakes. I spent stupid money on stupid stuff.
What's the most stupid money you think you spent?
Every year I used to take a girls' trip by myself. And I would pay, I kid you not, $500 a night to stay at a resort. Yeah.
Ritz-Carlton, though.
No, it wasn't a Ritz-Carlton, but it was nice. and I would get pampered, I would get the massage and all, and I was spending money, stupid money, on stupid stuff. And you couldn't pay me to do that now. I wouldn't do it. I see all my friends going on fabulous trips and stuff like that, and I'd be like, I feel like Celie from The Color Purple. Back, y'all. No, sir. But I know that one day I'll be able to just, chill and travel the world, do those things I want to do. But for right now, I'm on a mission. So I don't care how many fabulous trips I see on social media. I don't care.
You said something that's key. When you're chasing a dream, a passion, you gotta put aside today.
That's right.
For tomorrow.
That's right.
When you're a visionary, a lot of times you're gonna be alone in those walks because you can see something nobody else can see.
That's right.
And if you try to get them to see, you'd be in an argument to the point where you don't want to see what you already seen yourself. Like I tell people all the time, as you're growing, everybody won't survive you as you become. But in due season, many will celebrate that you became. So when you're going, every noun, person, place, or thing will be constantly subtracted from you as you're constantly going.
That's right.
But when you get there, it's crazy how it all come back to you quick.
So I'm still growing and still learning, but I tell you, I am, always excited and empowered just to know where God is leading me. So I don't get hung up on what I see out on social media. I'm not competing. I'm in my lane. I'm driving.
You said something that was real key. How do you stay, how can I say this? How can you be on point, flawless, whatever you want to call it, and at the same time be humble, at the same time not be in competition with somebody else? How do you maintain that and at the same time be a diamond version of yourself?
Well, you know what? Self-confidence is everything. And it's not something that, you grow into your self-confidence. When I was in my 20s, I didn't have this confidence. And it's, through life trials and, the things that we grow through that gives me this confidence. And so, that's how I'm able to maintain and do the things that I do because I'm confident in me. And I'm not, in competition with anyone. There's not anything that I see out there that I'm just like, intimidated by. Nothing. So
I think it's strength when a woman can be in a room with other women and women compliment that woman without, feeling left out, less than, or so and so has got more than me. That's true power within oneself. And I can talk on that for days because today's time, everybody's so jealous of everybody.
Yeah.
Or one may feel that, you know, my life ain't nothing if I don't have what she has.
Yeah.
So how do you, in this field, how do you move in that, knowing all of this is going on? How do you face that?
Well, I work with a lot of beautiful women. I do photo shoots. I bring women in from all different age groups.
Mhm.
I mean, beautiful women.
Mm-hmm.
And I empower them by just embracing them, you know.
Embracing.
Yes.
That's key.
The women that I hire that subcontract with me, you know, if they're modeling, they're paid.
Mm-hmm.
The models, my makeup team, I mean, they're paid and I want them to feel valued. I have women that call me and they say, well, I want to model, and I model for free. I said, you don't model for me for free.
Mm.
I said, value yourself, know your worth.
Mm.
Because people will take advantage of you if you don't know your worth.
That's a fact.
Yeah, so I try to.
And if you don't know your work, you'll take advantage of yourself too.
Yes, yes. So, and the women that I work with, they'll tell you, you know, when I love to employ other women, empower them. This might be, you know, a stop for them
Mm-hmm.
onto their next journey.
Mm-hmm.
But I want them to say, you know what, Miss Shauna, she, you know, had my back. She looked out for me. I work with young college students, and you know, I have one that's going to be interning with me. It's a paid internship. It's not.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not where she's because what 21-year-old woman you know that's, you know, working one job they can afford to work for free for somebody? I don't know.
This damn time.
I wait. Look, I don't know no young woman, especially coming from the background I come from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other people have those opportunities where their families may support them and they're able to, you know, be in a position where they can work in a corporate, you know, setting and do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
But the women that I work with, they need their money. So I make sure that they feel valued when they come work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You are, and I'm assuming you walk in, your daughter gets to see all of this firsthand. Do you think somewhere down the line, the same way mom and aunts design aura fell on you, do you think this is transferred to your daughter?
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed it already?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, so she worked for me too sometimes.
Uh-huh.
You know when she wants to.
What have you seen at home just with her?
You know, she, you know, I don't want to say she's my best friend right now, but I know one day she will be. Because
Gotcha.
I'm still mom. I
Gotcha.
try to make sure we keep that separation. She is my daughter,
Yes.
but she is involved with everything. She'll tell me, that don't work. You know, she give me her feedback from you know that generation. You
Yeah.
know. So when it comes to prom and things like that, she give me her feedback, and I pay her to come and do jobs with me, but I also let her enjoy being a team. You know, I don't want to put too much on her, but I also want her to be structured, and I want her to understand what it is to be in business. And one day, she'll step into working, you know, side by side with me.
Have y'all ever had a debate about style?
Oh.
Anything? What's that like?
Oh, yes. She would tell me. I can't tell you some of the things she said because they was embarrassing. But teens, they say old people, babies, and drunk people tell the truth.
Wow.
No, teenagers tell the truth too.
Uh-huh.
They will tell you
What's something one day you just knew you was on point and she told you otherwise?
I had on some jeans. She said, no, Mama. I couldn't even tell you what she said because it was so embarrassing. She told me, Mama had a diaper booty. I said, I wasn't going to say that. But you know, the kids nowadays will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
She said, Mama, she showed me something else to put on. So, you know, us older women, we got, you know, all of that in the back going on.
How did you take that?
You know what? At first I was
Never heard that.
offended.
Uh-huh.
I was offended.
Uh-huh.
But then, you know what? I said, you know what? From her perspective and young women looking at us, you know, they look up to us, you know, so I am very, you know, aware of what I wear. You're not going to catch me on social media doing the Busted Challenge. I ain't going to do it. But I see, you know, today, I see women as old in like their 50s trying to keep up with 20-year-olds. You know, I'm not judging them, but I know I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I know what her perception is of me. I see how she look at me and how, you know, I am someone she look up to. And so I want to keep that. I'm not perfect. You know, I get sexy too. I like to, you know, wear my party cocktail dresses too. But I make sure it's still tasteful. And when I bring women into the office, you know, they ask me my opinion and I give them my opinion. Okay, so do you want to look 19 or do you want to look 35?
Ooh,
we get real.
Yeah.
You know, you still can be sexy, you still can be fabulous at 35, 45, 65.
Let's talk about sexy look. Me personally, I'm 40 years old. And
you getting old.
Before the winter's month. And I'll just remember, I ain't gonna listen, why lie? When I was younger, listen, I wanted big booty, bow leg, jeans nice, back out, chest out. But now I'm like, if I was a single man, ain't no way I could chase that.
You grew up.
I can't chase that.
You grew up.
And you know, you see a lot today when women, there's no mystery. You seeing everything you're gonna have to deal with, be into, whatever. You seeing that? Just walking across the street, dinner at the table. You seeing everything for right? Go ahead.
You grew up, and let me just tell you, it's, you know, without judging women, you know, because hey, you know what a lot of women say, that men try to make us feel ashamed of our bodies, and that's why, you know, like, you know, some of these celebrities do like this slut walk or whatever they call it. Okay, that's what they do, because they say men like to shame women for, you know, expressing, you know, their sexuality and stuff like that. But I feel like it's a time and place for everything. You still can be sexy without giving everything away. You still can look sexy with a gorgeous gown on, and you know, some of us have a silhouette where we can wear a, you know, a form-fitting dress. But you know, a lot of us, we got love handles. We got some, you know, a little extra. So you just wear something that complements your body.
Exactly.
You know, you can leave a little something to the imagination, but I would never, you know, shame a woman for what she chooses to wear if that's what she feels comfortable in and that's what she feels comfortable in. But when they ask my opinion, I give them my true opinion.
How important is it for a woman to be 100% confident within themselves, where she's not affected by what society says this is it? And on the flip side of that, same question, but how does she not let a man or men dictate or define what's sexy, what's decent?
Well, I can tell you this much: a man can sense confidence from across the room.
Definitely.
When a woman walks in the room, she could be the most beautiful thing you know laid your eyes on. But for some reason, men can see insecure. They can see when a woman does not have confidence, and you know, it's all about how you present yourself, and people catch on to that. So
let me share something with you, and this is something that I want women to know that they probably don't know. Us as men, let me tell you something. When we see selfies every day, all day, you walk into the front door, you get in the car, you leaving church, you at the grocery store, you crossing the street, you walking in your job. Us as men, and you correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of us men see that as an insecure woman.
Yeah, and let me just say that, you know, we are vain. I mean, everybody, we're all vain. We take photos, but
you can tell the difference.
You can tell the difference. You can.
You can tell who's looking for the like button, the compliments, the views, versus this is just who she is.
And you know, and then you have some people who they just love to share. They just love to be the center of attention. They just love to do that. But a man can sense confidence. A woman, we sense confidence as well. Because something about a metrosexual man that I just can't do. Look, so I have a classic man. You know,
what's classic for you?
You know, he laid back. You know, You know, he's not one that always needs to be in front. He's quiet, he's low key, laid back, classic man.
Derby had Stacey Adams, what we talking?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he got more suits in his closet than me.
Gotcha. Growing up, I heard you say mother and aunt. Were anywhere along the way, was there any male influence who helped you along the way with style or influenced you in that arena?
Well, you know, to be completely honest, my father was not there most of my life. You know, later life he did come back. But no, most of my style influence came from women. So, I did see some of the men in my family, but the most of my style influence came from women.
Do you think, and this is just a surface question, do you think a male figure in your life would have influenced, helped along the way with what you're doing now?
I can't be sure, but I can tell you that my father later in life, he was very supportive of everything I did until he passed away.
Who was telling you you're a beautiful little girl when your father wasn't?
My mother. My mother.
And was your mother telling you that enough for you to believe?
Yeah, but I would tell any person that it's very important that that you have a man in your life that is telling you that, because that's why a lot of young girls get lost in those younger years, and we have to spend a lot of trial and error days.
One of the things I talk
That's important.
Yes, one of the things I talk to both of my girls about, loving themselves. I said, my goal is by the time I get done raising you both is to one day when a husband comes, all you have to be is a wife. You don't have to be the wounded girl without a father. You don't have to look for a father and a boyfriend and a husband all in one package. I just need you to be a wife who receives the husband, not the little girl who receives daddy, boyfriend, and husband.
Well, I love to see your post with your girls. I love it. It's beautiful, and you have some beautiful daughters. And it's the reality of it is a lot of young girls don't get that because they may not have fathers who are there 100% of the time. So they rely on the women in their life to give them that. And unfortunately, our mothers can tell us we're beautiful every day. But until we hear it from, a man, we sometimes we get distracted when we actually start hearing it
from the wrong.
So you have to let it learn. Like I said, we make mistakes, we grow, but I agree with you. That is very important for a young girl to hear. And my daughter, she has her father. And my husband isn't her father, but she has her father and she has my husband, and they keep her.
Definitely, that's important. That's important. Now our redemption draws nigh. However, got some more questions for you real quick. What would you like to debunk in your field? What is something that people may say that you feel is only a myth in your field?
That to be beautiful, that you have to be a certain size. So we cater to all women. So I don't care if you're a size 2 or you're a size 22. So we want to debunk that because, a lot of women, once we, start, getting up in age, we gain weight and,
Yeah, of course, it's a natural thing.
And I hear this so much from women, and I've even said it too. I gotta lose a little weight. I want to wear this dress. I want to wear this gown, but girl, I need to lose pounds. I have brides I'm working with right now who their bridal party like, we on the weight challenge, and we're gonna lose some weight for this wedding.
Love and confidence is key to that. My wife, listen, she can tell you, she probably kill me, but this is the truth. When I first met my wife, listen, I can hold that butt like this right here. Okay?
Yeah, she gonna get you.
Now, now she ain't big. She the right size, I swear.
She's a beautiful woman. I see
But
her.
but now look at it. It's like a chihuahua holding poodle booty.
Stop.
Now I gotta do like this right here.
Cut you off. You gotta stop.
Okay.
You gonna get
I love it
yourself-
though. I love it, and I tell all the time. I say, listen, whether you use that size or this, I got your back.
Yeah.
I still love you no different.
See,
Because if your love is caught up in just looks,
that's right.
10, 15 years from now, you'll be out of love.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. And but when women come to see me, I tell them, you know, I really want to wear that size 10, or I really want to wear that size 8. And I just tell them, love where you are. We're gonna find a gown that fits you perfectly in the size that you are.
Another quick question. What's the fine line or difference between sexy and overkill?
When women try too hard, when they try too hard, you know, like even with my makeup artist, you know, when she's doing the models faces, I tell her we not going for drag. We just want something fabulous, you know, women, soft women. But I tell women, don't try too hard. You don't have to wear leather, and you know you're size 16, or you know you got that pouch. You don't have to wear that. You can wear something that's still gorgeous on your body.
Even makeup. There's some
We just
time.
encourage them. I'm not shaming them.
Yeah.
I'm just encouraging them. Wear something that more so flatters you than you will feel uncomfortable with trying to pull down all night, trying to make it fit you when you know before you put it on it wasn't your size.
And even with makeup, sometimes, to me, the best makeup is when I can't tell the difference between regular you and makeup.
Yeah, so
And there's some times I've seen some makeup out here. I'm not down on women, but there's some times I see some makeup here. I swear you could have took the cake out of the oven, hold it up on my face and spin it.
Stop.
Could have dressed the cake with it, I'm telling you. So you gotta don't overkill.
yeah. So, you know, and I love to work with women who are, you know, natural, you know. But I do understand nowadays, you know, it's something different. We wear, you know, weaves, we wear wigs, you know. I don't want to ever make any woman feel uncomfortable or that.
And that's the thing. If you're gonna lie to me, and what I mean by that, eyelashes, hair weave, what the thing called, the waist trainer, boosted. If you're gonna lie to me, lie to me.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me and I find out in the process you're lying to me. Lie to me so good till I'm totally fooled.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Or just keep it real, you know? Just keep it real, you know? So, you know, nowadays, you know, women, you know, we wear different things, you know? But I tell women to do something that you feel comfortable in. Don't do it just because you see that everybody's wearing it.
Because I'm telling you
Everybody's doing
something.
it.
Tell you something, y'all don't stop. I've seen already, they got fake abs for men. They got fake beards for men. Listen, y'all don't stop. We're gonna be we're gonna be on you. My last question to you. You now, what would you go back and tell a younger version of yourself, the things you were struggling with versus the victories you're experiencing now?
Stay faithful. Be patient. Be patient. And just keep going. Yeah, because, you know, I wouldn't change anything because everything that I walked through in my life, I was meant to.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I wouldn't change anything. Yeah, I've said many days that I wish I didn't do this, or I wish I didn't do that, I wish I didn't have to do this. But you know what? Every single thing was planned. It's all in God's plan. So everything I went through prepared me to be the woman I am today. So I appreciate it. I humbly accept everything that God has, you know, placed in front of me, and I'm just moving forward.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's our time.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Looking forward to, you know, one day my girls come get a dress or something.
Yes.
Get the whole experience.
I would
So
love to dress them.
definitely, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.